Hi, I'm Kiki.
And I'm Kemi.
And you're listening to
Your Advisors Will See You Now, a podcast that will help you to figure out all of your options for life after high school.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Your Advisor Will See You Now podcast. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Kemi.
And welcome to our Relevant Rambles. So, a Relevant Ramble is just like a shorter podcast episode that we're going to do just to kind of talk about relevant topics. We may do them to just like give quick tips about certain things. So, they'll be a lot shorter than our normal episodes, but just something to get you through the week, so you can still get something from us. That's just not as long. Yes. Yeah. So for today's relevant ramble, Kemi and I are going to talk about a very important topic if you are applying to most four-year colleges, which is writing your college essay.
Yep.
So yeah, go ahead, Kemi.
Yeah, so with most college applications, there is an essay portion for most institutions. And the essay matters because it allows the admissions office to see your personality and to really get a better idea of who you are as a all-around person. Like, yes, they'll see your transcript, they'll see all your name, like your name or information on your application, but this lets them know a different side of you and a more intimate side of you. So they can actually see you for who you are, I guess you could say. You also get a chance to convince them why they should accept you into the institution, and you also get to set yourself apart with the application portion.
Exactly. I'll mention too, and Kimmy and I talked about this like a few minutes ago before we started recording, but when you're applying to these four-year schools, they're getting so many applications. Like, recognize you're not applying into like a pool of a few thousand. You're applying into a pool. If you're going to like a really large school or a selective school also, they're getting probably a good like 20,000 applications at some schools. So it's not to scare you, but it's just to bring to reality the fact that you are competing with a lot of students. So the essay, yes, is very important, but they're going to choose who they're going to choose based off of like many factors. But that's why you apply to a lot of schools. So you have options. Like, yes, of course, you want to get into your top school, but just recognize that you're putting in this hard work. They're going to acknowledge that you put in a lot of hard work to do this. But I hate to say it, it's a reality check that, yeah, I mean, you won't get into every single school, and maybe you will, and you'll be one of the very lucky ones.
Yeah, but it's okay. Like, I think even Kiki was talking earlier. Like, we didn't have this back in the day, but like now you can see on YouTube, people will record themselves opening up their application letters to see if they got into colleges. And Kiki perfectly said, she was like, some students they'll get into Harvard, but they won't get into UCLA. We'll have someone that gets into Duke, but they won't get into like another like Ivy League college. So don't just think like, oh my goodness, I didn't get into my top school. Like I'm just not good enough. Don't think that. There's a lot of competition out here. The essay portion does help, add on to a little extra shine to your application, but don't take it too hard. Don't take it too like to heart too much if you don't get into your top school.
Exactly.
But here are some tips for what to do for your essay.
But yeah, I was like, get off of that too. Well, we're talking about tips now. You really want to try your best in the essay. Just because I said that point, like they may not even read your entire essay. That's just an honest fact. But you still want to shine, like Kimmy was saying before. So I just heard a lot of admissions representatives say, don't just talk about or don't say things that you think they want to hear. Like, you have to be honest, you have to be truthful, you have to be authentic. And those are tips right there. Be honest, truthful, and be yourself when you're writing your essays. So a lot of people say, I hear this a lot, but like, don't use a thesaurus when you're trying to come up with like big words. They don't want to see that because it sounds pretentious when you start to try to use like 10 big words and you could have used one word or one just like kind of phrase or sentence to get your point across. So that's kind of like one tip or many tips wrapped into one. And be creative. Like, as with any essay and you're writing for your teachers at school, you have to have a good hook. So you really want to pull them in. However you do that, is up to you. Some students I've seen will use quotes. Some students like kind of try to take the person to the moment that they're talking about. So you could say
Mm.
things like, I don't know, like in a movie, like picture it. I was on the football field. I don't I don't know.
That's a
Something
good
like
one,
that.
though.
Yeah, like it can be cheesy because I feel like if they react in a way, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that made me laugh,"
Yeah.
or maybe it makes them cry. You know what I'm saying? So really, like, pull the person in. Don't just
Yeah.
start it in a regular way. If that's you to be just kind of go right into it, then that's you. But if you can find a way to be creative but
Yeah.
still like stay true to yourself too. You have any other
Yeah.
ones, Kimmy?
I definitely like that creative piece because
Yeah.
that hooked me in. I'm like, "Okay, I wanna read the rest. What's going on in this book here?" So it got me, and that's good because you want them to read your essay and you want to stand out too. So just be yourself, and like Kiki said, use real thinking, so don't use a whole entire thesaurus of crazy $10 words. Just kinda be authentic to yourself. You can throw some little $10 words in there, but don't make it your whole entire essay. Um Show a depth of understanding in relation to what you're talking about. So have some kind of introspection to what you're talking about, some thoughtfulness.
Mhm.
And then also just discuss like a passion for learning that you have because you're going to school to learn. You're not there just to party hardy. Yeah, that can be a little bit of it, but you're there
Mhm.
to learn and to get your degree. So they want to see how you would fit into that. Show that you have a passion for something, and I think something that would also be beneficial for your essay as well, and also for you that you should have already did in your college search is look at the mission statement of your college. Like what
Mhm. It's
what
good.
are what are they really into? So you have some schools that are really into sustainability. So if that's something that you're really into, or maybe you've even volunteered for cleaning up some beaches, or you have like your own like compost garden, then that's something that you could use to shine in your application because it perfectly matches the mission statement of the institution that you're going to. So that's
Mhm.
that's something to make yourself shine because they'll say, "Oh, this student, you know, they have the same values that we have." So
Mhm.
we could see them coming to this university, like making a difference and just excelling here. So that makes you
Mhm.
stand out as well. Uh, and then just having your genuine voice. So be yourself a bit. Don't, have improper grammar, but be yourself so they
Mhm.
can hear your personality kind of when they're reading your essay and just stick to your authenticity. Mhm.
Exactly. Wait, do you wanna read the little meme, Kimmy? I think we can say it in here.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll
Yeah.
post it on our Instagram. You wanna read
Yeah.
it?
You read it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so it's a cute little picture, and basically it's a student talking to their school guidance counselor, and they say, "I want to show my colleges I'm well-rounded, so I wrote a poem in Spanish about how chess club has made me a better quarterback." What?
Yeah, it's like that's over the top. I mean, that's what we're talking about, like flair. Add your flair. That's why I wanted Kimmy to read it because you read it before, and I was like, "This." I didn't even notice it before when we were going through this, but I was like, "It's perfect," because you don't want to be so over the top that anybody reading it, and I don't know how many people read it, but I'm sure like a good 5 to 10 eyes will be on your essay. You don't want somebody to be like so lost. What if they don't speak Spanish? What if I mean, like, that's, like, number 1. But it has to be, like, realistic to you.
Yeah.
And this is, like, a quick point too. If you did chess club, just going off of that example, if you did chess club for 6 years, talk about that.
Mhm.
But if you went to one chess club meeting in your whole time in high school, don't talk about that
No.
because you can't really even showcase what you accomplished in chess club. And that's for any organization, honestly. So if you're going to talk about your involvement while you're in high school, whether that's like organizations or like your job, you can't talk about it if you didn't really get into
Experience
it.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I thought that was funny. And then like Kimmy said, we'll post it on our Instagram page too. So you can go look at it and share it because I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, but
And
yeah, I think Kimmy talked about too, like the grammar. Definitely have somebody like look at your essay.
yes.
Somebody other than your parents too, because of course your parents are gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good." And maybe it is so good, but you need like your guidance counselors. If
Yeah.
you have like your English instructors or English teachers that can look at it, or just somebody outside of your household to view an essay, that helps a lot. Just to have like a fresh
Mhm.
pair of eyes on it is really, really useful.
Yeah, and also it's a very helpful and this is not a plug because we're not getting paid for this sponsorship, not yet. But
Not yet.
something that's really helpful is Grammarly. When I was doing my
Mhm.
master's degree, I
Mhm.
would type out my essay and then I would plug it into Grammarly, and it would give me just a second pair of eyes in terms of, okay, how my sentence structure was and how I can change it and make it better. So that's
Mhm.
something that can help you with your editing skills too.
Mhm. That's
Mhm.
perfect. Yeah. Hopefully, Grammarly, you heard this. Um,
And
and
contact us in the future.
exactly, please. But those are just like a few tips. But I guess we're also gonna just like plug or just talk about too, like as you get started, like where do you start with writing an essay?
Mhm.
Because if you use like the common application, there's typically like a standard question you'll get for all the schools you're applying to. But if you're applying through individual institutions, they're gonna have their various prompts that
Mhm.
you're gonna have to write about. So sometimes you can reuse essays. That's totally fine. Um, but really, like, where do you start with it? Like, just sit down. Like, if you get a prompt and it asks you, they're pretty detailed, but you have to make sure you answer like every part of the question. But
Mhm.
just sit down and start writing, even if it's comes out to be 5 pages at the end. You can come back and edit that down. Usually, they'll give you like a word limit on how many words they want you to get to. So you don't have to write 5 pages. Usually like 1.5 pages is fine. But just keep writing. Just sit down, answer the question to the best of your abilities. But then you go back. You'll have multiple drafts of your essay.
Mhm.
That's fine. You want to get it as refined as you can. So that's where I would say just kind of like a stream of consciousness. Just sit down and just put words on the paper and then you can go back and refine it later.
Mhm. Yeah, totally. And I think and then you really use that creativity in this, so I guess kind of
Mhm.
going back to that chess a bit, right? So when people maybe think about maybe there's some people that don't really know chess, some people don't play chess, or maybe some people even think that chess is boring, but they have no idea about it. So put your make the reader be placed into your shoes when you're writing this essay, or even talk about a specific time where were up against a top component, or even just talk about the strategizing that goes into it. Make it
Mhm.
as creative as possible. Make that the person continue reading that essay. I know sometimes as people were like, "Well, I just do chess club. It's not really that interesting." No, like really reflect on all the things that you've done and what makes it stand out to you. Why are you passionate about it? And share
Mhm.
that so we can see that passion and feel it through your paper. Because I think a lot of people, for the most part, are humble for the most part, and they don't really know how to draw on their strengths. They're like, what am I really good at? But if you really sit down and examine things and your characteristics, you can pull a lot of information to show and shine in your paper about like whether
Mhm.
your passion or a goal that you overcame or any of those kind of things.
Mhm. Exactly. I like that a lot. And I would say off of that too, with the creativity part, like what makes you like creative? So if it's like going for a run or like what inspires you to be creative? It's like going for a run, if it's going for a walk, it's about to be fall here in the United States. Well, but
It's already
um
here in New England, so the leaves are
yeah,
falling.
right. Well, no, it is fall now. Yeah, it is fall. So, I mean, if it's like going out for a nice walk, if it's like seeing a leaf on the ground, if it's like eating your favorite food, what makes you get more creative? Reading a book. I would say just do anything that you feel like you just things that you enjoy. So you can like have that time to think, ponder, if you come up with something really funny or like creative, write it down so you have it for when you go start your essay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I think those are good tips to get y'all started. I would say too, I mean, Kimmy and I gave you tips right here or just some like things to inspire you, get you started. But we mentioned YouTube before. Go to YouTube, see
Hmm.
what other people are doing. Don't be them. You have to be your own individual self, but like see if they can give you some other tips too. And especially like you could go search for college admissions 2021 and maybe other students are writing similar things too. Don't plagiarize, but
Yep.
if they
Don't do it.
can
Don't do it because once you get
do
in
not do it.
school, you're gonna learn something called academic integrity, and once they find out you're plagiarizing, some schools will kick you out. So do
It's
not do
very
that.
true.
Yeah.
It's 100% true. So, yeah, I mean, be yourself, but if somebody can inspire you or give you some kind of like creativity burst, go on
Mhm.
YouTube, Google. I'm sure everybody will do that anyway. But yeah, definitely do some of those things. Do you have
Yeah.
anything else, Kemi?
So I think a couple of questions after you finish creating your essay, excuse me, a couple of questions that you can go back and ask yourself is, have I answered the question? Because sometimes you can just get to writing and
Yes.
when you're finished and you reflect back and you're kind of went on like a side tangent and you're like, oh, I actually didn't answer the question. Make sure you are answering that question that they're talking about, because you can have the most interesting essay, but if you didn't answer what they wanted you to, they're gonna say you don't pay attention. So
Exactly.
you need to pay attention to what they're asking. Make sure your essay is the proper length. Also, make sure like your topic isn't, cliche. Um, kind of like a broad range topic that's so easy to be used. Like what could be a good example of that, Kiki? Um, hmm,
I mean, gosh,
I know, like what could be
I haven't seen an
cliche?
essay in so long, but like cliche stuff. Um, like I went to summer camp. I mean, everybody, like not everybody, but a lot of people go to summer camp. Like that's fun. If you can make things like specific to you, then use
Hmm.
it. But it's like I went to camp and we rode on the boats. I mean, but that's
Yeah.
that's something cliche. Or
Yeah, if you make it cliche, if it's a cliche topic, just personalize it so well that you're like, "Wow, I didn't
yeah,
see this coming." Yeah, so make it really
exactly.
personal. Don't make it bland, like, "Hi, my name is Kemi. I come from the New England area, and
Right.
I just wanted to have a new adventure and go to school in the South." Nah.
Right.
That's not gonna get you in. They're gonna be like, "Okay, Anne." You know?
Right, exactly.
It should be something more intriguing and fascinating of, "Oh, one year I took a vacation to North
Mhm.
Carolina, and I dove into the culture when I was volunteering here, and I really saw that there was a need for sustainability, and that really drove my passion for da 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 da." So it makes
Mhm.
it unique, So kind of dive into that uniqueness portion of it.
Yes. That's a
Mhm.
good point. And I'll go back on the camp topic real quick. I just thought about somebody. I went to camp one year and yeah, I mean, everyone doesn't go to camp, but a lot of people go to camp for the summer. Well, like, I'll just say this example. We had a like evening, it was like a nighttime scavenger hunt.
Mhm.
And our team was like winning, but one of the girls had a peanut allergy
Oh,
and they
no.
put one of the obstacle courses had peanut butter in it. But it's like, why would you put peanut butter? Like that's a common allergen. But we had to like go get her help. Of course, like get the medic to come and that like, that's like something like kind of set apart. I wouldn't use that, but she could use that. But it's like maybe she wants to be an advocate for people with peanut allergies now. A college would like to see something like that.
Mhm.
That's a really corny example. But if you can like literally be yourself, be set
Mhm.
apart, use that in your essay. They don't want to
Yeah.
see fluff. They want to be like, this person is authentic.
Yeah.
And it's like really like don't make it like I went to the moon. You didn't go to the moon. Like don't say like I met somebody that's an astronaut. If you did, great, but
Don't lie.
don't lie. Basically, don't lie to make it seem like because if you're like going to MIT,
Mhm.
MIT is a huge like technology and like engineering school. If you didn't build a rocket, don't say you built a rocket,
Yeah.
because they might ask you in an interview. They might be like, "Can we see your rocket, please?" And then what do you have to show them?
Let's see those drafts.
Nada, right? Exactly. You have nothing to show for it.
Bring it to the
So
interview. Let's see.
exactly,
Let's see, Charles.
exactly. And we're being silly now, but yeah, like Kimmy said, don't tell the truth. Be truthful. Be yourself. That's really all they want to see in an essay. Um, so yeah, I mean, those are just some of the tips that we wanted to share with you all. Did you have anything else to close, Kimmy,
I think we're
before
good,
we close?
Kiki. I think we're
Okay.
good.
All right. Well, you want to close it out?
All right, everybody. So make sure you continue to check our new episodes every Tuesday, and we will see you in the next one.
See you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening to the latest episode of Your Advisors Will See You Now. Please make sure to follow us on all of our social media pages and check out our website. Take a look at the show notes below.
And please make sure to subscribe and share this podcast. Also, show us some love and please leave a 5-star review. Catch you next time.
See ya.